And I'm going to share my screen. All right. As I said, my name is Sally Flashberger, and I'm the project manager for the Living Well grant. With us today, we also have Ashley Matthew. She is a self-advocate who has been working with us on the Living Well grant, and she is also part of People First Wisconsin. She's gonna give us some of her tips for staying active during this time. So we're going to go through the toolkit first, and then we're going to show a video. Ashley will give us some of her tips. We have a couple more frequently asked questions, and then at the end we'll take questions from you. And again, you can do that using the chat function. If we get to the end and we still have time, we may unmute you all so that you can ask a question verbally if you're on the phone. So we put together our toolkit, which has 3 sections: stay healthy, stay safe, and stay connected. We did 2 other presentations this week that are on the Facebook page that you could access that allow you to look at those 2 other presentations that we did. But today we're talking about staying connected, and as you can see, this is it can be quite a challenge. So we want to give you some tips on that and talk about how to stay connected during this time. So one of the biggest things that kind of is this new language that we keep hearing is about social distancing. And sometimes we think like, well, maybe it's really just physical distancing, because it's really about staying separate from people, but not necessarily giving up your social connections. But in the terms that have been used around the states, around the United States, social distancing is really staying away from places where there are lots of people gathering. When we initially put the toolkit together, we were still able to go out into the public a little bit more than we do now. But it was really telling you not to go to like movie theaters, churches, grocery stores when crowded, large family gatherings. Well, now we know with our stay-at-home order from our governor, really, we're not able to really do any of those kind of even those smaller family gatherings. So when they talk about social distancing, it's really keeping that distance between yourself and someone else. And they talk a lot about 6 feet. So sometimes that's hard to imagine, but if you think about arm's length and a little bit longer, that's how far you would want to be away from someone else. So there are times when you might have to go into the community. You might have to go to the grocery store or the pharmacy. You might need maybe to see your doctor. So when you're in those places, it's really good to think about how you're going to keep your distance. We also know that during this time, you're not able to see friends, maybe even family. Maybe you live alone and you're trying to figure out how you're going to connect with family and friends, how you're going to connect with your care manager or your IRIS consultant, maybe your coworkers that you had, all the people that might be important in your life, even maybe some of the service providers that you've been working with. So lots of people are learning new ways to connect. And obviously, technology is probably one of the biggest ways that people are connecting. And people are using their smartphones, they're using computers, they're learning to use iPads, maybe just the regular phone to be texting or calling people. You know, it's good to still pick up the phone and give people a call. So we want you to think about what ways you could be using technology. And if for some reason you don't have technology and you really want to try it, it is good for you to think about talking to your If you're receiving long-term care, to talk to your care manager or your IRIS consultant about that, and to think about how they might be able to help you get that technology so that you can connect with other people. There's a lot of internet type companies who have offered free internet connections during this time so that people who can't leave their houses can still be connected. So at the end of March, the governor issued the Safer at Home directive. And this really did make that social distancing even more strict, and really thinking about not leaving your house except to go out for those essential supplies. Even now, some of the grocery stores or larger stores like Target and Walmart, they've put in place a lot more restrictions on how many people can be in the store at a certain time, which is good. So it's always good to check check before you go to the grocery store what different provisions are put in place so that you can make sure you're able to get what you need. And though that Safer at Home directive is in place until April 24th at this point, we haven't heard any updates, but right now it's until April 24th. So we wanted to talk about different ways that you can stay connected. So this is one of those ways. We're using Zoom today. So there are several different ways. There's Zoom. Sometimes people are using FaceTime. I myself just found out that on Facebook, you can use the Messenger service and you can actually do a video. I didn't know that. I thought you could just send messages. Some people are using Skype. So we do have a couple of videos how to download Skype. We are just so you know, we are updating this toolkit quite often. And the best place to find that is on the Wisconsin Board for People with Developmental Disabilities webpage. And I'll give you that information at the end. But there's a lot of good videos out there about using Zoom, Skype, using FaceTime, different ways for you to connect. Some of the things that I've seen people doing and we put in here is maybe to schedule a meal or an activity with a friend using some of these different types of services. Our family has kind of decided that we're going to have a Zoom on the weekends and maybe play a game. My daughter found a way for us to play games online together. And so we've been doing that quite often. Maybe even just sitting down and having a meal together. I saw, last night was the beginning of Passover, and I saw several families using their computers and putting their families on a Zoom and having their meal together. And I personally am thinking about that maybe this weekend for the Easter holiday, but just a good way to maybe be able to connect. Another way is if you use Netflix to watch movies and shows, they have a new technology called Netflix Party. And someone can start a movie and you can all chat on the side about the movie, and you watch the movie at the same time, and one person controls it and can, so if you have to go get a snack or go to the bathroom, the person in control can stop it. Everyone can text back and forth through that technology. And so it was a pretty fun technology. We did it recently for some of the people I work with and watched a new movie, on a new documentary on Netflix about the disability movement. I think another thing is, you know, we're now a couple weeks into having to stay at home and figure out different ways to connect with people. But one of the things that is probably important is maybe talking about things besides the virus. And and trying to get back to somewhat of a normal back and forth with your family and friends and talk about some normal things. I know it's really hard not to focus on the virus at this time because it is, I think for everyone, it is something that is in our mind all the time. But it's good to just talk about some of the other things that are going on in your life. I had a situation with my dog yesterday who ate a lot of chocolate. And so that kind of gave me something else to laugh about with my daughter and not just talk about what's going on with the virus. And again, it can be a time to have fun and share stories and focus on other things in our lives. I've seen some people who are doing like they're either doing a text chain or Zoom, and how they start is to talk about what good happened in their day and not to just focus on what the negative things are doing. So these are some of the tips on kind of overall when you're thinking about activities. So keeping the things you do. So kind of keeping that schedule, creating a schedule, maybe sticking to it, getting your regular sleep, eating breakfast when you normally do. If you were working and you're still working at home, to kind of keep that same schedule you had. Or if you're not working, it might be a time to fill your schedule with different things. And so trying something new might be good. Maybe there's a book that you were thinking about reading or listening to. Maybe there was a new Netflix series like Tiger King. That's all the rage. Looking into a new board game if you are living with other people, or a video game. Maybe learning to cook something you hadn't cooked before, or even doing a craft. I have a friend who is pretty crafty, and she keeps posting. She got like mannequin heads, and she's been creating different looks on these mannequin heads. It's very interesting, but something that she probably never had time to do before, and is going to do it now. The other thing we can still do is go outside. And we had a couple really nice days. It's sunny today. It's not as warm out, but the sun is out. But really taking that walk around your neighborhood and getting out there as best you can. I think if we have dogs, like I do, that kind of encourages us to go out. But I think getting out there, even sitting outside, maybe on your driveway or outside your apartment building in a chair just for a little bit, just getting some fresh air. But really taking that walk around your neighborhood, obviously keeping your distance. So if you are encountering somebody on your walk, thinking about how you're going to move across the street or keep that distance so you don't have to worry about coming in contact with others, but really getting outside. Another great way is to find ways to exercise. If you have a little bit of space, you'd be amazed how you can exercise. Move your coffee table out of the way, maybe in your family room, and use that area to exercise. There are many fitness videos online that are free. So there were a lot of already that were free, but I would say that more and more have become available since the coronavirus hit. And lots of easy exercises to do, lots of different levels. So it's a good place to look and maybe take up a new fitness. So I do a lot of, I like to do weight training, but I've been trying to do yoga, and I am not good at yoga, but now is the time to maybe kind of take the time to learn something new. I think the other thing to do is to find ways to relax. So this time, with all that's going on with the virus, not being able to be with our friends and family, not really being able to go to places we used to go, it does create a lot of anxiety. And so really trying to think about ways that you can relax. So deep breathing, meditation, yoga, all of those things. Just like I was saying, you know, I'm trying to do some yoga to see if that helps me relax a little bit. But I think and again, there are many different apps that you can download on a phone or a computer that can help you along that way. But really taking that time to relax and clear your mind and not be worried about everything that you're hearing and really feel better. So we do have a list of different activities here, and these are kind of some of the places that you can find new things to do. It includes many of the things that we have kind of talked about. So there's a little app a little website where you can create your own schedule. So create your schedule, hang it up on the refrigerator or in your bedroom. We've also found that lots of service providers are starting to provide virtual classes, virtual contact. So it's good to reach out to some of your service providers or your care manager or IRIS consultant and find out who might be providing their services virtually and how you would get involved with that. We included a relaxation and meditation website, which also has an app. Some yoga. Adrienne, she's pretty famous on the internet, and she has a YouTube channel where she does all her yoga. Body Fit by Amy, another pretty well-known fitness person on YouTube. You might want to watch some videos about voting. So we just had our primary here in Wisconsin, but we are going to have additional opportunities to vote this year in August and November. So the Disability Vote Coalition puts up lots of videos that you can watch. We have some self-directed employment planning modules. So this is a way for maybe you to be thinking about employment when this is all done. You may already have a position, but maybe you now have, maybe your job isn't going to be there when you get back, and this might be an opportunity to be thinking about those, that employment planning. You can check out the Self-Determination Network, and after we show the video, Ashley can tell us more about that, but that's a great new network that provides a lot of great videos. The Sprout Flicks, this is several short films about people with disabilities, and that has been out there free. Lots of different craft ideas. The virtual tour for museums. So this is museums all over the world and provides you an opportunity to go to a museum. One of my favorites is the Chicago Art Institute, and you can go and look at all the art that they have. The Milwaukee Zoo set up a virtual tour. You can, at the moment, possibly take a nature hike. So right before we got on the presentation, we did hear that the governor has closed all of the state parks. It seems that people were going to them, and it was difficult to keep that social distancing. I didn't see anything about the trails at the moment, but I would say that could be next. So you can check here at this website to see if the trails are still open. There's lots of different concerts to be able to watch. People are posting music from their homes every day, multiple times a day. We read that the libraries in your areas are having pickup services. So if you have a library card, and even if you don't, you could get one. And they were offering pickup where you could get a book or sometimes even a movie and pick it up at the library. We talked about the Netflix party, and that was a pretty fun idea. Lots of people are connecting via Skype, but I think we've also found more people may be connecting to Zoom, and we will update that on our toolkit. So give us a day or two, and we'll have those updates, and that'll have more information for you. Love Inc. is a provider in Dane County, but you don't have to be in Dane County to access their services. They have a email list, and if you sign up for their email list, then you will get all the information about the virtual trainings and meetups that they are doing. They also have a YouTube channel. So if you go to this sign up, you'll get all the information you need, and that's all free. And that is for people with disabilities, and they do different topics. We have some resources for future planning. And so through the ARC of Wisconsin, you and your family might want to take a look at the future planning. Now is definitely a good time to think about future planning as we see ourselves in a crisis like this, and we think about what are the things we probably need to have in place for you and for your family to make sure everything is that everything is taken care of for you. So another good place to go. Again, we have information about voting here, and you can go to the Disability Vote Coalition webpage. So these are just some of the places that are sharing different ideas. We have many ways to connect through our social media. So we have our Facebook page. We also have our website. There's the SelfDetermination YouTube channel. There's the Instagram. And I will give you the link for the board at the end of the presentation. So right now I'm gonna share the video. If I can find it. Hang on one second. Give me just a minute. We love technology. All right. All right, so this is the video from the Self-Determination channel on 10 things fun to do online. So I'll just start it.
You are watching the Self-Determination channel.
Today, we are going to share 10 fun things you can do online on your computer, tablet, or smartphone. After you've watched the video, check out the information section below. You will find links to all the cool ideas we shared.
Okay, Philip, take it over.
Here are 10 fun things you can do online. Number 10. Visit the Milwaukee County Zoo right in your home. You can watch animals that live at the zoo.
Number 9. Take part in a free art lesson on the Wild and Crafty art site.
Number 8. Watch short films that feature people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. There
check out and connect on the Self-Determination Network. You can browse through hundreds of news articles related to self-determination and self-direction. Better yet, post a news article to share with your friends.
Number 6. Watch a free concert. There's a whole bunch of live and recorded concerts to watch at home.
Number 5, learn about voting. The Wisconsin Disability Vote Coalition have videos on registering to vote and voting.
Number 4, if you and a friend have Netflix, you can set up a Netflix party and watch a movie together in your own home.
Number 3, schedule regular phone, chat, FaceTime, Zoom, or Skype dates to connect with people in your life.
Number 2, schedule a meal or activity with a friend using FaceTime, Skype, Zoom, or video calling.
And the number 1 fun thing to do online, log on to the Self-Determination channel.
You'll find all kinds of cool videos, personal stories, and tips.
If you want to know when we post a new video, click subscribe. If you click the bell icon, you will be notified when we post a video. That's all there is to it. Thanks for subscribing.
Remember,
All right. Woo. All right, so I want to give Ashley an opportunity. Hang on 1 second, I gotta get back to the Zoom. So Ashley, can you tell us a little bit about what you've been doing since all of this happened?
Well, I've been doing a lot of checking in on people to make sure that they're doing okay. I've been asking them like, what can I do to help? I've been actually doing some deep breathing with some people and seeing how that they're doing. If they want me to create a visual and help that I use for them. So I've been doing a lot of that, and just trying to stay positive and tell people that they are amazing, they are awesome, they are great, and they're going to get through this, because negativity is going to kill more than this virus. So I just encourage you guys to be positive with each other and just motivate each other to be the best that you possibly can be, and just keep checking on each other. And remember that people with disabilities are going to take things literally, which they're going to take the things more than other people. So just being cautious on what you say and what you do during this time, and being the inspiration that they need at this time. And you know, you can use each other, you can do video chats and be each other's venting partners and help each other through it. It is a two-way street, you know. So I just encourage you guys to do that, and you'll get through this together, and you guys are all amazing, and just keep working through this.
Will you tell us a little bit more about the Self-Determination channel?
Yes, I will. The Self-Determination channel is a channel that has different videos on, inspirational videos on how to be a great advocate, different things on people's life stories and different things with different kinds of advocates. And it's really kind of inspiring seeing the struggles and the triumphs that people go through to get to where they're at today. Because people always think, you know, when you hear me and Cindy, or you hear these other advocates, they have all these barriers. If you guys don't know what barriers are, they're these struggles that they go through to get to where they are today. And you see that people can overcome any obstacle that's put in front of them. It doesn't matter what their IQ level is. It doesn't matter the obstacles that they had in place, that anybody can do anything. And if people tell you can't do something, you prove them wrong. And I think that that's kind of the thing. And I always say the only one who can tell you can't do something is yourself. And I will always say that. Just keep encouraging each other and motivating each other, and watching those videos, because those are really good assets to making people good in their lives. And yeah, there's all kinds of amazing people in there.
So what have you been doing to keep busy at home with your family?
What have I been doing? I've been watching a lot of Hallmark movies. I really like Hallmark movies. Yep. I've been making positive maps, which I put people's name. I've done a lot of workshops on that with the self-determination, where I put people's name in the middle and then I write things positive about them. I've been calling my grandma to make sure she's doing okay. I've been making self-determination YouTube channel. Cindy checks up on me, I check up on her, and those kind of things kind of keep my mind busy, where I'm not thinking about things that make me anxious and stuff like that. So I think it's just important to keep your mind occupied and just make sure that you're doing something, maybe even do some coloring and crafts. When I do crafts, it kind of helps me get my mind off of things. So I think that you could do those with a friend in video. So you could do something, maybe you could do positive maps together, like I said, put their name in the middle, and then you could share them on the video. So that's kind of a cool thing to do.
Have you, did you use this virtual technology before? And if not, has it been easy to use?
This technology is not easy to use. I don't think for people with disabilities is easy to use. I use my mom's computer, and it's easier to use on here. But but the Facebook, like you said, the Facebook, when you do those videos, I would recommend to people that that's probably the easiest way to connect, because there's just a little video button, and it's just easier to use. Like, I use it all the time. I talk with my sister, I talk with my uncle that's in different places and stuff like that. It's probably the easiest way to connect with people is do the video through Facebook.
Yeah, because you just click one button and then it's like a video.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, that's a good suggestion. What about, have you been getting outside or anything like that with your family? Or
I've been taking walks, and that kind of relieves some stress. I think you have to, because I think it's easy when you're stuck with the same person that you kind of get that stress and stuff like that, you know, you're hungry down. So I think that you just have to kind of get when you take that walk, you kind of relieve everything that's going on, and you kind of get your mind back on that positive set, because it's easy to get negative thoughts in your head. I'm the first one to tell you that, you know, people, and especially people with disabilities, they have a lot of, depression and stuff like that. It's easy. So you just kind of got to divert your mind back, go back for a walk, and then think, okay, I am great. I am special. I am amazing. You have to get your brain, you almost have to do it for yourself, because other people are not going to constantly compliment you. So you have to kind of get your brain back and say, okay, well, today was not the best, but maybe tomorrow is going to be better. And it helps you kind of clear your mind. But you also have to do constant pep talks to kind of get yourself back into the groove of things, because you just got to remember, things could be worse. And I keep telling myself, I said, things could be worse, and I just need to keep putting that positive spin on it, because that's the worst thing. The negativity kills. So.
Right. Can you, for maybe people who don't know, can you just tell us a little bit about what People First Wisconsin is?
Yeah, People First Wisconsin is a group for people with developmental and intellectual disabilities. So it's an advocacy group, and we work on things like transportation and employment, different things like that. And in our communities, they actually have different groups for different chapters. And then Cindy Bentley is the executive director, which she holds statewide meetings for all the chapters. So it's a really, really good thing to be involved with and stuff like that. So.
And we can post that too with when we post the video on Facebook, the link to People First, so if people are interested in finding out more. So is there anything else you would want to tell people before I go back to the toolkit?
Well, just be the encourager, be the motivator, help people, because when you actually help people, it actually gets your mind off of what you're struggling with. So I just encourage you to check up on people, be that friend, because when you make a difference in someone's life, or when you do something kind, it actually gets your mind off things, and it actually makes you a better person. So I just encourage you guys to all do that. And remember, you're not alone. If you think that one person is struggling, remember that the whole world is struggling, and that you guys can, when you venture each other, you're kind of letting each other know that, you know, we're in this together, and we're going to get through this together, and keep sending positive vibes, because we're going to get through this together, and then we're going to all see our family and friends, and we're going to probably be kinder people maybe.
Yeah, I do think that's true. And that's a great message. Okay, I'm just going to go back to the toolkit really quick. We just want to share a couple more things, and then we'll take questions. So at the end of our toolkit, we did develop a frequently asked questions. So we took some of the things that we had been hearing from people around safety. In the safety area, we talk about what happens, what will happen to day programs and the people who go to them. So talked a little bit about that. A lot of day programs did close right now, and people should follow up to see if they can get some of those services at home. What if you need additional supports? We've talked quite a bit over the last couple of days about calling your care manager or your IRIS consultant if you're in long-term care, getting those supports, and make sure that you're letting them know that things have changed and you need extra support. You can also, there's also other resources to contact if you need assistance. So the Aging and Disability Resource Centers, some of our local libraries, providers, clinics, Disability Rights Wisconsin, they are the organization that looks into issues when people are having issues with their family care IRIS, so you can call them for assistance. They also are a place to call if there are issues concerning abuse and neglect. We also then went into health a little bit and questions around what happens if your roommate's sick and people need to be quarantined. So these are just some of the examples that we've kind of pulled from the toolkit. So the whole toolkit has a lot of good information. What if you need to be hospitalized or quarantined, and letting people know, making sure that you tell your care manager if you are having any issues getting support, calling Disability Rights. Looking at our Stay Safe section here gives you a lot of ideas and a way to develop a crisis plan. If you are in crisis, looking for those mental health resources, so some of the community crisis helplines, the disaster lines, always calling 911 if it's an emergency. We also had a lot of questions around employments and benefits, and so if you had lost your job, you should be contacting your Division of Vocational Rehab counselor, talking to them about how you might be looking for a job if you're still interested. Your benefits may have changed based on that maybe you aren't working now, so contacting Social Security, making sure that you do have the services you need. 211 is a great place to go to get referrals to other places that might be able to help you, housing, sometimes food issues, all of that might be a reason to reach out to 211. We have some private insurance type questions here, and making sure that you maybe are following up on your Medicaid, if maybe you were receiving private insurance and no longer are. Again, the Social Security office, their offices are closed, but they do have an 800 number you can call if there's any changes. And then there are the COVID websites for the Department of Health Services in Wisconsin, but then also the CDC website. So that's basically the toolkit. And now we're happy to take questions. Shannon, I think, has been monitoring the chat box to give us what questions there might be out there.
There is nothing in the chat box right now. Emily earlier did post a couple of suggestions that in the chat that she uses for meditation.
Okay.
She's been using Shine and Calm, which are two different meditation apps. And then she's also been listening to rain and waterfall videos. There was a question or comments about the toolkit and the materials and whatnot. And so I posted links to the toolkit and the self-determination channel in the chat. So if anyone wants to, pull those down. We also, Caitlin also posted the direct link to the activities to try page on the BPDD website. So, but if anyone has questions, I mean, we could just open up the lines. Would you like to do that? Okay.
We can try that.
All right, I'll unmute.
Okay.
All right, everyone is unmuted, so if anyone would like to ask a question for Sally or Ashley, be happy to take that. And I did unmute everyone, but you may also, if you have your own phone on mute or your speakers on mute, you may need to do that as well. Looks like Amy, you unmuted. Do you have a question?
I guess we were very thorough.
I guess so. Okay.
All right, well, I think if there aren't any questions, we will wrap it up. Since we weren't able to get the Facebook Live to work, we will post it. There will be a link to the recording. So we will post it on the Wisconsin Board for People with Developmental Disabilities Facebook page. So look for it there. We probably will link them all on our website also. But the other days are also on our Facebook page. So if you, we did 2 previous days. We did Stay Healthy and Stay Safe. So those are also up on the Facebook page. And we thank you very much for participating. Keep looking at our Facebook page for the toolkit because we are updating it. And there are new things coming out every day, so we're considering some additional presentations next week. And so we'll try to keep it at the same time because it just makes it, I think, convenient for people to remember. But otherwise, thank you. Thank you to Ashley. We really appreciate you using the technology, and it was great. And your suggestions were great. And I think we should take what Ashley said and keep positive, and maybe it's going to make us better in the long run after this is all over. Do you have anything else to add, Ashley?
So just keep your head up, and remember, we're all going to get through this together, and then we're going to all see each other, and then we'll have amazing presentations and encourage each other to be the best selves we can be.
Great.
All right,
Thank you,
great.
Ashley.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you coming.